Okay. So I think at this stage, what we focus on is primarily how 30-second is not necessarily a developer, but a lifestyle brand. Development is just a means for them to bring their lifestyle to life. So it is similar to a Bulgari, it is similar to Oberoi Hotels, it is similar to a Vistara. It's much more than a product, it's a feeling. You have the lifestyle and the food and beverage and the fashion of building an entirely new version of India, which is the future of what India stands for. For all these years, India has had Western brands influence its culture and kind of copy some of the trends globally. But today we have the privilege of defining what the future of India can be in-house in 30-second. And we're very proud of the quality of work that benchmarks us against global experiences, even though we are made and very much rooted in the Indian ecosystem, culture, heritage, talent, capital, everything, right? So it's about taking a little bit of India, being proud of it, and showcasing it to the world. And that's kind of what you see in this video. It's not necessarily an ad for real estate where you talk about this many square feet or you talk about this many acres. It's very much showcasing a feeling which 30-second represents as a lifestyle brand. Having said that, it's always good to ground ourselves in numbers. So the business and the entity has been there for 3 decades. It's actually multi-generational. The parent firm has now handed over to the next generation. Starting in 1990, it has delivered 2.4 million square feet, but more than what it's delivered in the past, which sure, it's flagship office spaces with Google and flagship retail spaces with 32nd Avenue, etc. What's really exciting is its future, where it's got 600 acres of distinct sort of locations all across Goa. More than the number of acres, because that can be misleading, it is the quality of acreage and the locations within which these campuses are present that makes 30-second's future in Goa pretty much synonymous with the state and the city's growth. I think this is already covered in the slide right in the beginning. And I think here we also kind of had a new input, Harsha. So we can kind of put that input here. What I had put in this slide as a transition was based on the success of 32nd Avenue in Delhi. The project that we're most excited to bring to Goa is 32nd Avenue Goa, which is located in Baga. It's basically a little bit of a larger version of what we're doing in Delhi. So in Delhi, we're already very lucky to have 5 to 15,000 people a day come, and the most premium consumers come for experiences, which are mostly food and beverage. People come to eat at Bhavan, Piano Man, Greener, Mala Akbari. A lot of 30-second originals have been created from that campus. If you haven't had the chance to visit that campus, then a Google search at this point makes sense to show them reviews and show them the vibe. The same thing is being replicated in Baga. What we're doing in Baga, which is different though, is it's much bigger. So 32nd Avenue is under 1.5, 2 acres. Your exact numbers will be on this table, Harsha, at some point. However, Baga is 7 acres. So it allows us to have at least 3 times the footprint to make a much bigger campus, which solves for a much bigger problem. Also, I think based on that scale, we have an expected footfall, which is at least equal to, if not larger than what we're doing in Delhi. And based on our learnings from what we've done in Delhi already, the Goa campus allows us to build an even more professional and beautiful ecosystem. 32nd in Delhi was a little bit of an experiment where we were trying something new, but the feedback and the positive sort of earnings we've had from that campus make us doubly sure of how we're going to articulate it in Baga, with even better architects, even better international operators, and international talent running these restaurants, and a whole series of new age brands. Last but not least, what Baga has that 32nd Avenue doesn't, but Baga and what 32nd Avenue Goa has that 32nd Avenue Delhi doesn't, is more infrastructure. So events is a really big space that has been dedicated within this campus, which allows us to get even more footfall. What 32nd realized is that there is a big lack for organized mid-scale events. So let's say 2 to 10,000 people events. There's no infrastructure in Goa which has the right security, let's say simple things like washrooms, circulation, parking, and obviously premium food and beverage and sound, which allows you to have globally considered quality infrastructure for events. So a large part of this campus, unlike 32nd Avenue Delhi, which only has eateries, a large part of this campus in Goa focuses on solving for the problem of creating an events destination. So think about sporting events, fashion events, music events, of course. We have a year-round programming of destination events that brings people to the Baga campus. There are other spaces within Goa which we're developing as a group. So before we jump into Baga, it helps to just give you visibility. There are residences and resorts which go between Vagator, Charao, Chapora, Arambol, and Mopa. And there are retail campuses between Vagator, Anjana, 32nd Avenue, Baga, and Som Kandolim. So essentially, just to give you guys a feeling of how large the group portfolio is throughout the state. Since 2004, the family has been investing in Goa. So before Goa was even a national name, and there was a single lane highway, and only daytime flight landings were permitted because there were no nighttime flight landings in Dabolim Airport. The family has been investing and has thus been lucky enough to get access to some of the best locations within the city state. Moving on to the specific thesis of 32nd Avenue, Goa. So this, as I said, is a 7-acre campus. It has 180,000 square feet of food and beverage and entertainment experiences. But it doesn't really look like a building. It looks like a whole village, which has been developed around the Goan ethos and ecosystem architecturally. The location is self-explanatory. It's Baga Beach, which is a legacy and a destination of its own. Of course, for other benchmarks, Vagator Beach is 18 minutes, Anjana Beach is 19 minutes, but really it is the heart of North Goa. From Asagaon to Vagator to Baga itself, everything is within a stone's throw. And the fact that it is oceanside, if you look at this map, it is extremely prime beachside location, which is absolutely oceanside. From the first floor, you can start seeing direct ocean views, but so large still. It's a rare combination of having scale as well as location in the heart of Goa with 100% approvals and permissions to construct. There's no unauthorized construction like most of the beach shacks have kind of done illegally in Goa. This is a professional, compliant vision. What makes Baga special in general? I think just a quick summary. Goa itself is soaring, but as I've mentioned before, this location within Goa is so central that it already gets 53,000 cars a month. So when we got this site, we said, okay, you already have the footfall. All we need to do is make something for them to go to. Today, people go to Goa for its beach shacks, which are very cute. They're nice, they're beautiful, but they're a little bit yesterday's news in terms of quality. Even when simple things like hygiene and simple things like quality of service, they are fun to experience once, but not necessarily comparable to what happens globally. So the goal is to take this existing footfall of 53,000 cars that already parks in Baga on our site, right? We're not talking about generally, they must have lakhs of people that park, but our specific site has 53,000 customers already every month in cars. How can we just build a campus around it, which is premium enough to give them something better to do than the yesterday's shacks that exist there? This is, again, the actual site location. So as you can see, there are cars being parked on the site right now, and we monetize that as a parking lot. In the future, this exact site is going to convert into the campus. This is an overlay which shows you exactly how the campus is being built on top of this site. So it gives you a clear visibility of the infrastructure we're building and the location right on the beach of Baga Beach. As I mentioned before, it is a prime oceanside location, has a 53,000 cars a month. Again, a big number to digest, but the site is already very mature. It is the center of Goa today. It has been designed by the world-class designer SJK, but it also has a lot of work by 30 Seconds interior design and spatial design team. So it's a fully in-house team that does architecture and design for all of the dozens of restaurants that we're going to open there. So it's very much a design front approach, similar to 32nd Avenue. When you go to 32nd Avenue, the feeling is that you've left the country and you've gone to a completely different universe of its own. We're doing exactly that with Baga and doing the best design forward. Last but not least, as I mentioned, a major advantage for this site is the events. So to build a large-scale, fully equipped, top-tier events facility gives us the additional footfall. We already have 53,000 cars a month, right? But we're saying, let's amplify that even more. So if there is a music festival, if there is a fashion show, if there's a sports event, in Goa. Baga, 32nd Avenue, Goa should be our main destination for those events, further amplifying, getting even more footfall for our food and beverage and ticketing revenue for the campus. So guaranteed footfall and success. This is giving a general sense. We can dive into this if you'd like, otherwise we can move forward. But primarily, all around the event space, which I'm pointing out here, are food and beverage pods. So pod A is a coffee cafe, pod B is a world bar, pod C is entertainment, pod D is Pan Asian. So globally, all the cuisines, the best of that have been curated as large scale food and beverage spaces. A lot of them are very alcohol centric, a lot of them are very food centric, some of them are purely entertainment, like the gaming, arcade, and bar. But overall, what we realized is no one in Goa really wants to shop in a mall. Everyone wants to go to a large beach club and enjoy themselves and unwind. So this campus does what people do on a single beach club level, one at a time. This campus does as a mini city and a mini universe where you can have the central security, music, hygiene, infrastructure, views, and vibe of having a global, almost mini food and beverage theme park located in the heart of Goa. These are some of the renders that show you the facade. So in the center, we have this events arena, and all around the center, we have these food and beverage shops, which allow people to enjoy an event in the center and then continue to go in-house to have a good Mexican meal and drink, to have a good Indian meal with drinks, or to just go into the gaming area and play some games, or even just go to the rooftop and get an ocean view of the beautiful 360-degree ocean view you get from the rooftop of this project. So it's an entire ecosystem where people come for events, but they stay for the general food and beverage around it. Just more sort of facade views. These are the two key event spaces, as I mentioned many times before in the presentation. If you look at it, most of the footprint of this campus has been left open for events. So the idea is we want this campus to feel open and green and lively, instead of building a lot of sort of buildings and making it like a commercial city campus. So we love 32nd Avenue, Delhi, but 32nd Avenue, Goa is much more open and lively and airy in theme and honest to the Goan reference. These are some more renders which are representative of the event space. So the event space is quite lively, but again, it's rooted in a very Goan, wooden, green sensibility. Similar, another space which shows you some lively events going on in the center of the campus. As the target audience for 32nd Avenue Goa is very much the same as 32nd Avenue Delhi. It is people that have traveled abroad, appreciate good food, appreciate building good memories with their friends and families. It's definitely young adults and millennials. Of course, if you're young at heart, we welcome them all. But typically, the target audience is exactly that who goes to 32nd Avenue Delhi. If you're looking to unwind and kind of break away from the chaos of the city you're in, whether it's Delhi or Goa, 32nd Avenue provides an oasis of sorts, which allows you to have a more seamless, relaxed, and as I said, good infrastructure-driven experience where you can unwind and kind of enjoy a quality of service that is typically seen globally in India. The two pods that we're opening up for investment are pod B and pod H. So all of the other pods from pod A to C to D, all of the other pods are not allowing investment at this point. We want to keep them as company ownership. But we're looking at dilution of minority, which is pod B and pod H. The reason we picked these pods is they are the most premium to us. If you look at the entry on this side, as well as the entry on this side, both pods come right in the beginning of both entrances. So as investors, we want you to feel secure that you're getting the best asset within the campus. These are some floor plans for the pods. And as you come to more advanced conversations, you can ask the sales team about the commercial understanding behind them. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. And I really appreciate you getting a full rundown of 32nd Avenue, Goa. Truly, if you haven't had the chance to go to 32nd Avenue, Delhi, then please do so. I think researching that is going to give you the most confidence in what we're building in Goa. But otherwise, the idea behind this space is to replicate what we've already done successfully in Delhi, just at a much larger and organized scale for Goa. Thank you, guys.